What it do, YouTube? Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about body brokering decoded 101. Yes, body brokering decoded 101. So, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to break it down for you, right? So, body brokering is basically a highly unregulated market that's here in America, and it's big here in Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, it's big here in Phoenix, Arizona. Body brokering, basically people donate their body to science when they pass away, and these people are people who died from ailments or sick from ailments like cancer, ALS, unfortunately HIV, and unfortunately for all these different things, but you know what I'm saying, especially that, motherfucking bacterial sepsis, you know what I'm saying, pneumonia, like different stuff like that. Like these people, they sick with stuff like that, and they figure like, hey, can't afford a proper funeral, can't afford a proper cremation or whatever. So why I just donate my body to science? And even if they could afford it, they probably just still thinking like, why not just donate my body to science so researchers can study my disease and learn stuff like that. That's how most people thinking of it. Like I said, I did another video, hasn't uploaded yet, but I'll talk about it, how it's different levels to different phases and shit, like how Meek Mill broke that shit down. There's levels to this shit, of course. That's some real shit. And then you got like innocent levels to things that you do in life. Like you might do something and you might do it and not know it. That's you doing it on the innocent level because you genuinely didn't know something. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just like one of them things. But these people, they know, like, so it's a dude named Stephen Gore, or Steve Gore, whatever. He's a body broker in Phoenix, Arizona and shit. Literally right down the street from where the fuck I'm at. That's what's scary shit. It's like on 24th and University. It's called Biological Resource Center. It's like a private tissue bank where people donate their body to science, quote unquote. But these people was called like cutting up people's body parts and shit and selling them and leasing them out to like medical, medical like facilities, like schools, universities and shit like that, dentistries and stuff like that for people to study and do like stuff on like that. And the dude got caught, got raided by the feds back in like 2014. Then this other dude named Arthur Rathburn, he had a shabby warehouse in Detroit. He got raided by the feds in like 2012 in February and shit, and he's serving like 9 years in prison. The dude Steve Gore, he definitely got like a slap on the wrist. Him and his wife, they got like a slap on the wrist. His wife got like 2 years probation or some shit like that. I'm not sure how many years he got, but it was a slap on the wrist. And body brokering is still going on throughout America. But let me put you on game of why this going on. So basically what that means is, like I said, you donate your body to science, whatever, especially if you can't afford a funeral, shit like that. Or, let me put you on the game, that's also where you will end up too if you can't afford a funeral or a burial, or let's say like you a junkie or something, or a person what they consider like low standard, or like, you know what I'm saying, like just poor or whatever, right? You will end up there anyway because you probably 9 out of 10 don't even have no family, or not even connected to your family, and you don't have insurance and all that type of stuff like that. And it's just like they just look at you as a lower person. So it's like that's where your body will probably end up anyway. You see what I'm saying? It's sad to say, but that's just how it is. And that's the agenda that they get out here nowadays. And I know a lot of people not probably paying attention to this shit. A lot of people probably do know about this, but it's more of like underground numbers. And what that means is it's not masses of people, who know about this shit. It's like very few. That's what I'm saying, underground numbers. Like, for example, when you got a musician or something, or musicians, as in rock stars, bands, or whatever, and they up and coming, they doing about like 10,000 views, you know what I'm saying, maybe 5,000, a couple thousand views or whatever, a couple hundred, but they actually a good band. Them underground numbers, they have an underground fan base. Like that's what I'm using, that's what I'm saying, like that. Like the people who are aware about this type of stuff, it's like underground numbers. And basically what's going on is, this the agenda that they putting out here. When I say they, I mean the government, crisis actors, these motherfucking think tanks. They hire people, and they usually be crisis actors, and they give these people all like new type of drugs. Shit, it's kind of like a clinical trial, but it's not a clinical trial. It's like it's like the opposite of a clinical trial. It's like a trendy trial or some shit like that. It's like a clinical trendy trial. Like, it's like, I guess you could say it's a clinical trial, but it's for trends and to create new like regulations and rules and shit like that. It's like another form of order out of chaos, so to speak, on a smaller level, where these government people, mainly the branch of the CIA and shit, and some units of the FBI, but they like more special units. They hire people, or not even necessarily hire people, like sign up for it or whatever. And these people, they give them like new type of drugs that they got to study that they haven't put on the market yet, or they haven't been released, or they might have some shit that already been released, like some real good marijuana, or they might have like pure cocaine, or like some type of heroin or something, whatever those people probably want, or just give it to them like some type of LSD type shit, just like with the LSD shit that went back on in the 60s and all that shit, in the 50s and all that. Those was the experiments they was doing on people. This is the shit they doing now. Why do you think they coming up with this fentanyl and shit like that? And fentanyl been out for a while, you see what I'm saying? But why do you think it's getting popular now? Why do you think a lot of people dying now? Why do you think it's an opioid crisis now? Especially here in America. It's all around the world. But why do you think it started here in America? Because this is what all the Nazis and shit, that's like Nazis throughout generations, because their parents was brought here to America through Operation Paperclip through 1945. So they continue that type of energy, and they come up with these different trends and shit. But it's really trends so you to die, so they can get organs and body donations and shit like that. And the best time to get somebody is when they're most vulnerable, and they're most vulnerable is when one of their family members pass away. This is how these people think. So it's like they gonna try to, oh yeah, well, if your person is sick and if your family member is sick and you can't afford the funeral, well, you could donate their body to some noble cause and stuff like that. But the whole time, you got actually real body donation places that actually do this shit that's government regulated and shit like that. But it's a highly unregulated market. Like, they don't really have rules and regulations like that. You know what I mean? But it's a vital market that's legal in America, but it's mostly legal in other countries around the world. But yeah, like, people do this. They sell body parts and shit like that. It's $1 million industry. It's mostly black market and shit like that. But these people that sign up for that specifically, they signed up for you to study their tissue samples, cremate them, and send them their ashes back type shit. But these people was like, nah, fuck that. We gon' fucking sell the body parts, get them some fucking cat litter or some other shit that look like ashes in an urn, and we gonna call it that. You see what I'm saying? It was making millions and shit. And that's what's going on. That's why they got these little so-called blues out here. People call them blues. They pills. They're not really pills. They're just fentanyl pressed into a pill. They got people just drunk on all these different type of opioid drugs and pharmaceutical drugs and shit like that, just so you can die. That's the whole point. That's why they got so much gun violence out here and shit like that, and just the niggardry and the fuckery and the hatred and all that shit. All this shit is set up for people to die in the long run, so they can have ways to have bodies. Because if you ain't got bodies and people dying and there's love and peace and harmony and people eating healthy and people living for a long time, then you don't have a body brokerage business. You don't have a procurement facility. You don't have a procurement business. You see what I'm saying? So that's why these people come up with these different trends and all this type of shit, and they hire people and put them in positions to do certain shit to help them carry out their agendas, so they can create dead bodies, so they can create people who get locked up, so they can get to the prison system and on the stock and all that type of shit. This is why this shit is set up like this. This is real talk. This shit is death by design for real, man. Wake the damn up. More videos coming soon.